Yep, what's up, y'all? I'm back again. Today we're going to be talking about why the Arri Alexa cameras might be overrated. People are going to hate me for this, but I don't care. I don't care. Giving you the blue and red pill. So I've been filming on the Alexa cameras now for about some time. And most recently, I directed a music video commercial, a Sony music video commercial for one of their talents here in Shanghai, China. And we shot on the Arri Alexa Mini LF with the signature primes. And one of the gripes that I have with this camera is that it is not for every project. It has very strong limitations. I think the biggest one so far is the size. This camera is big, it's bulky, and it's heavy. Now, why is this a problem? One thing you might want to consider is that the size of this camera is not very friendly for a run and gun or one person crew. That in itself limits the amount of shots that you can get. To just put it simply, there's some shots that you will not be able to get with this camera just because of how heavy or how big this camera is. And I think that's a limitation. Yeah, you can initially say that it's not the way this camera was designed to be used, but hey, it still exists in this day and age. And this is not necessarily geared towards people who make high-end commercials, directors and cinematographers like that, but more so just for the everyday young person like myself who wants to make a film but believes that filming on an Arri is going to upgrade the cinematic quality of their films. I'll get to other reasons why, but so. And another thing about the Alexa is that this camera has a sensor that is very light hungry. In other words, this camera is not very good in low light conditions. Now, a lot of people that I'm addressing in this video will be shooting a lot of scenes in pretty dark places. Knowing that this camera is not the best option for your films, your videos, or whatever you want to make goes a long way. And that in itself is a limitation of this camera. It's not designed to be used in a low light condition. Well, primarily mostly because most studios and places that use this camera, they often have access to tons of lights and resources and things like that. For most people that don't have that budget, this camera is not necessarily as valuable as you would think it would be in that scenario. So I guess what is necessary to know is the technical limitations of this camera and knowing how that fits or doesn't fit into your project. Usually in Hollywood, they would film something called a day for night in most cases, or get really fast lenses. If you do not want to spend all that money on lenses or getting extremely expensive lights to be able to film your scenes, maybe this camera is not the best option for you. Actually, it's not. I actually think it's not the best option for you. You're better off with other mirrorless cameras on the market right now. You get the point. It's not a low light camera. Unlike my Sony a7 IV, this is a great low light camera. You can still see me, even in the dark. So you see how there's one pillar on the side? Yeah. And where Alex is, that's the center. Another reason why I think that this camera might be overrated is because the Alexa look is quite easy to replicate if you know what you're doing. Now, for me personally, I've been using Joe Famolaro's Phantom LUTs for the longest time, and you can either do this using that or you can do the CST transform in DaVinci, where you transform the gamma from Sony, from Panasonic, Canon, whatever, and you transfer that into log, Arri log C, and then you can do your conversion, yada yada yada. Now, you do need some technical experience there, but doesn't change the fact that you can do it. You just need to learn the process. Now, I do not know Joe Famolaro. I've never spoken to him before. I bought the LUTs with my own money and I've been using them since then. So this is not me trying to sell you anything. It's not my product, it's Joe's. If you want to buy them, you can go to his website. You don't have to buy them. I think that you get pretty close to be able to match those cameras together. I think in most cases, most people are not even going to know what camera is the Arri and which one is the other mirrorless brand. So is it really worth paying all that money, or renting out this camera if it's not the best option for you. Once again, the focus of this video is what is practical, not necessarily what is the industry standard. And I think a great example of this is the new Hollywood movie, The Creator, that was shot on the Sony FX3. I think if the cinematographer had not come out to say that this was shot on the FX3, I don't think a lot of people would have noticed that. Yes, they did have access to a ton of resources like lights and lenses and things like that, but the base of the body, the camera that was used, was the Sony FX3. The Arri look isn't that difficult to obtain as long as you know what you're doing.
I'm always right, bro.
And lastly, this is not just an Arri thing. This is more of a camera consumerism thing that's been going on. Every one of these cameras, they're just marketing tools. I feel like every camera that's just been out for the past 5 to 6 years, they can get you in a good ballpark in terms of imagery and color science that you want to replicate. I don't think that any camera is specifically very good or has like an extreme sauce that the others don't have. I think that you can, work in the limits of the technical limitations of that camera or the sensor that you have in your camera. Rather than focusing on what type of camera, perhaps you should focus on developing your skills and trying to learn and master the art of composition and framing and lighting and set design and all of these things that will inherently upgrade your motion pictures rather than focusing on a camera. And will I stop using this camera? No. When the job calls for it, I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to use it again.
All right. And action. Just the same way. Good. 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 Yeah.
What's up, YouTube? Good Lord. Stay on there. I'm Morpheus. Guess what? I'm back again, YouTube. What's up?